Hello and welcome. My name is Carsten Lützen. I'm an Agile Coach and a Scrum Master. Today I will share this Eisenhower matrix or Eisenhower decision matrix, greatly inspired by Sergey Hybryks, which were at an event I attended last week. And that has gotten me to reflect a bit, but I will get back to that. First off, if we just look at this, we have two axes, one urgent, not urgent. So what needs to be done right now, what can be postponed. We have the other axis, important and not important. So important meaning this is super critical, crucial that we get this done, because it might be something that we cannot do later where we will lose that value. And not important being people might not even notice if we don't do it, or it's not as important as some of the other stuff in our backlog. When we are super busy and we have a more or less blocked calendar with meetings and stuff, we tend to only be able to do the urgent and important stuff because everything seems urgent, and if we are bad at prioritizing, everything will seem urgent and important, so we just do everything and maybe develop stress or burnout in the longer run. If we start to use this other axis right, if it's not super important, but it's still somewhat urgent, so important is also to yourself, right, then maybe delegate it, get somebody else to help you or do it for you. That would be a really great way of getting it fixed, because it is urgent, so it is something that we need to do, and then you can focus on this stuff. On this one, so it's important, but it's not urgent. That is where we probably need to book ourselves. So on Friday from 10 to 11, I will do exactly this. And then follow through. Do not get sidetracked by something that comes in and then you don't get the time for actually doing this. When we're talking about process improvement, as Sergey also said, this is actually where a lot of it comes. So we of course have our retrospective, for instance, every 2 or 3 weeks, or process improvement session, or whatever we call it. So we've already scheduled a time to do it, but maybe as a Scrum Master and Agile Coach, we should be better at setting aside time for daily process improvements. This can also just be sitting in a corner, looking what is going on, looking at the backlog, looking at trend graphs, how are we doing, but setting aside time for this. I have in the last couple of weeks, at least on my own, from my own viewpoints, felt quite busy. So I have not had time to do this. I've only been able to do this, at least on my own viewpoint. And maybe I need to actually be better at prioritizing these other tasks on process improvement. So it's not just putting out fires, doing the daily process work and so on. Or if it's not urgent and not important, then delete it, don't do it. If it's important, it will pop up again. And then all of a sudden, if it has become urgent, then you either do it yourself or you get somebody else to do it. But this one, that was a real eye-opener for me, this setting time aside in my calendar to do these things. That is definitely something I will start to experiment with to see how it works best for me. I'm hoping some of you will share your tips and tricks on how do you work with something like this, or do you have another model that you're really fond of, and then please share it. That would be super awesome. And as always, in general, if you have comments, questions, ideas, or feedback to these videos, please send me a message, write a comment, that would be awesome. And then, that was it. Have a super awesome day.